expertise, offer instead to teach him about the Tao. Why did the ancient masters esteem the Tao? Because, being one with the Tao, when you seek, you find, and when you make a mistake, you are forgiven. That is why everybody loves it. 63. Act without doing. Work without effort. Think of the small as large and the few as many. Confront the difficult while it is still easy. Accomplish the great task by a series of small acts. The master never reaches for the great, thus she achieves greatness. When she runs into a difficulty, she stops and gives herself to it. She doesn't cling to her own comfort, thus problems are no problem for her. 64. What is routed is easy to nourish. What is recent is easy to correct. What is brittle is easy to break. What is small is easy to scatter.
I would say what always
Prevent
makes sense to
trouble
me is
before
to
it
create an
arises.
album called like
Put things in order before they exist.
And go through and
The
just take all
giant
the
pine
ones that
tree
you know
grows
you
from a
will
tiny
or might
sprout.
use for your,
The
does that sound
journey
like
of 1,000
place to
miles
start?
starts from beneath your feet.
All of my photos in
Rushing
photos,
into
and
action,
most of
you
them are
fail.
here.
Okay.
Trying to
I
grasp
think
things, you
I have
lose
to do this
them.
quickly.
Forcing
I'm
the
too
project
stressed
to
out.
completion,
It seems
you
like
ruin what was almost right.
So, are these
Therefore,
mostly
the master
photos
takes
you're gonna use in
action
the
by
book?
letting
I
things
have a
take
lot
their
more.
course.
These are a lot
He
of
remains
them.
as
I have
calm at the end
Okay.
as at the
Well, why don't we
beginning.
use these to
He
start?
has
and
nothing,
then-
thus
Okay.
has nothing to lose.
Well, I did
What he
create one
desires
book
is
that
non-desire.
Okay.
What he learns is to
But-
unlearn. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the
Yeah, I mean,
Tao.
it did a pretty good
Thus he
job,
can
right?
care
Yeah,
for all
actually,
things.
and so
65.
that's my surprise.
The ancient masters didn't try to educate the people, but kindly taught them to not know.
While we're here, why don't I just
When
quickly
they
show you
think that
something?
they
You
know
look
the
at this
answers,
book, like,
people
you
are
want these two
difficult
photos,
to
but not the one
guide.
in the middle, right?
When they know that they don't know, people can find their own
Either
way.
one. Okay, so what you can do is go
If
down
you
to the
want to
bottom
learn
and
how to
select the button
govern,
that says
avoid
layout.
being clever or rich. The simplest pattern is
Now
the
let's change
clearest.
how many
Content with
photos
an
are.
ordinary life, you can show all people the way back to their own true nature.
Exactly. So if you go over to one on
66.
that menu,
All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power.
and go down
If
to
you
layout.
want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them.
Go to the number one.
If you want to lead the people, you must learn
These are
how
all
to
different
follow
versions
them.
of one photo, just to
The
decide.
master is above the people, and no one feels oppressed. She goes ahead of the people, and no one
Okay,
feels
so how did it know
manipulated.
to eliminate
The
other
whole
people?
world is
It's just
grateful
the
to
first one
her.
in the page.
Because she
You know what I
competes
mean?
with no one,
Oh,
no one can
okay.
compete with her.
Left, it says you're not running
67.
any reserve battery power.
Some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty but impractical. But to those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense. And to those who put it into practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. I have just three things to teach: simplicity,
Okay, so,
patience, compassion. These three are your greatest treasures.
So,
Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patience with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate
Yes,
toward
I would say
yourself,
so.
you reconcile all beings in the world. 68.
Underneath.
The best athlete wants his opponent at his best. The best general enters the mind of his enemy.
Yeah, my suggestion would
The
be get
best
all the
businessman
photos in
serves
first.
the communal good. The best leader follows the
I think
rules
so.
of the
I think
people.
that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
All of the embody the
So,
virtue of non-competition. Not that they don't love to compete, but they do it in the spirit of play. In this they are like children and in harmony with the Tao. 69. The generals have the saying, rather than make the first move, it is better to wait and see. Rather than advance an inch, it is better to retreat a yard. This is called going forward without advancing, pushing back without using weapons. There is no greater misfortune than underestimating your enemy. Underestimating your enemy means thinking that he is evil. Thus you destroy your three treasures and become an enemy yourself.
You can do it once they're in
When
the
two
book, you
great
can do
forces
them anywhere.
oppose
So
each
the
other,
editing part
the
of it,
victory
don't
will go
worry
to the
about
one
yet, 'cause
that
you can
knows
get
how
in the
to
book and then
yield.
realize, you know what, this photo's
70.
a little too dark, let's clean
My
it up.
teachings are easy to
You
understand
can
and
do that
easy to
all
put
once
into
it's in the book.
practice.
Okay.
Yet
but
your
then
intellect
I
will never
guess-
grasp them,
And
and
then
if
the
you try
title's
to
also
practice
a story
them,
about
you'll
what
fail.
occurs in the book, too.
And
My
those
teachings
titles
are
aren't gonna
older
carry
than
over
the
to book,
world.
so
How can you
they're
grasp
not
their
gonna
meaning?
get printed on the pages.
If
so
you want to know me,
that's not a
look
problem.
inside your heart.
All right.
71.
Let me know if you run into any.
Not knowing is true
Okay.
knowledge. Presuming to know is a disease.
I had sent
First
this,
realize that you are sick,
to my
then you can move toward health.
iPad.
The master is her own
I don't
physician.
know.
She has healed herself of all knowing.
Yeah, but you know
Thus
why?
she is truly
It was
whole.
created in numbers.
The
72.
problem is that this is a zipped
When they
file.
lose
It's
their
not a
sense of
numbers
awe,
file. It's been
people turn to
compressed.
religion.
And if it was
When they
just
no
a
longer
regular
trust
numbers
themselves,
file, it would work,
they
but
begin
because
to
it's
depend
compressed,
upon
the
authority.
iPad can't.
Therefore,
open
the
it.
master steps
So
back so
one
that
thing you can
people
do if you
won't be
want is you can log
confused.
into your email on
He
here and try and
teaches
open it
without
on
a
the
teaching,
computer.
so that people will have nothing to learn. 73.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Tao is always
But
at
I don't
ease.
have a
It
Gmail or
overcomes
Yahoo
without competing,
account.
answers without speaking a word, arrives without being summoned, accomplishes without a plan. Its net covers the whole universe. And though its meshes are wide, it doesn't let a thing slip through. 74.
Go to Hostnet.
If you realize
Oh,
that
I
all
see that.
things change,
Yeah,
there is
I would-
nothing you
yeah,
will
maybe
try
it's-
to hold onto.
Okay, I mean,
If you
if
aren't
want, if
afraid
not,
of
no problem, we'll
dying,
work
there
with
is
it.
nothing
Okay,
you can't achieve.
Okay, so but this
Trying
doesn't
to
work.
control the
Yeah,
future
yeah,
is
because
like
it said
trying
that
to
dot
take the
zip
master
at the end.
carpenter's
Yeah,
place.
Yeah, it
When you
can't
handle the
compress it.
master
Only the
carpenter's
computer can do
tools,
that.
Oh, okay.
chances
So
are
it would
that
just
you'll
have to
cut
be
your
like that
hand.
numbers file. Then it would be able to
75.
open, no problem.
When
Okay,
taxes are too
so-
high,
okay,
people
so
go
if I
hungry.
would just save
When the
one of the
government is
files
too
which are in
intrusive,
here,
people
it would
lose their
work,
spirit.
because then it wouldn't be complete.
Act
These
for
are
the
copy
people's
files.
benefit.
It should,
Trust
if you
them.
just, in
Leave
numbers,
them
if you just hit
alone.
save and then transfer that
76.
to the iPad,
That
Men
should
are
be
born
fine.
soft
Somewhere
and
along the
supple,
line that got compressed.
dead,
I don't know if
they
maybe
are
your
stiff
email
and
did that or
hard.
something like that.
Flats are both tender and pliant,
Typically, it would just stay
dead,
as a numbers
they are
file.
brittle and dry.
Okay, because I
Thus
didn't
whoever
save
is
it
stiff
as
and
a zip.
inflexible is a
Interesting. So
disciple
maybe
of
your
death.
email did that.
Whoever is
Maybe it was
soft
a
and
large
yielding
file
is a
and you
disciple of
compressed it
life.
so it was easier to
Okay,
say.
yeah.
It's hard
The
to
hard
tell.
and
Yes,
stiff will
okay,
be broken.
yeah.
The soft and supple
it's
will
just the
prevail.
iPad can't decipher that.
77.
No, okay, alright.
As
okay.
it acts in the
Okay,
world,
so
the
my
Tao is like the
question,
bending of a bow.
is,
The top is bent
for example,
downward,
if you have
the
here a
bottom is
number
bent up.
1
It
and a
adjusts
number
excess
2
and
and a
deficiency so
number-
that there is perfect
another
balance.
number 2,
It
and
takes
a
from what is
number
too
1,
much
I
and
would
give to
wanna
what isn't
select
enough.
Of the,
Those who try
only
to
the
control,
number 1.
who use force to protect their power,
My
go against the
suggestion-
direction of the Tao. They take from those who don't have
A couple
enough
different
and
ways to do
give to
that.
those
One
who
is you can
have far
sort
too
by
much.
number, so it will group all
The
the ones
master
together.
can keep giving
Okay.
because
And then it
there
will
is
make
no
it
end
easier
to
to
her
select
wealth.
them all.
She acts without
Okay, but I would
expectation,
like to
succeeds without taking
the-
credit, and doesn't
like to
think
keep
that
it
she
in
is better
alphabetical
than
order.
anyone
So
else.
I don't want
78.
Okay.
Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water. Yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it.
Let me just think for a second.
The soft overcomes the
I mean,
hard,
if you sort them
the
by number, you
gentle
can also
overcomes
go
the
back to
rigid.
sorting it by
Everyone knows this is true, but few can put it into practice.
alphabetical.
Therefore the master
But
remains serene in the midst of
Yeah,
sorrow.
but so if
Evil
I
cannot
don't
enter
wanna
his
mess up
heart.
with alphabetical
Because he
order,
has
but
given
I
up
would like to
helping,
know
he is people's
all the
greatest
number
help.
ones or
True words seem paradoxical.
You just select those
79.
specific-
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Failure
probably I
is
have
an
to
opportunity.
copy this
If you
part,
blame
so
someone
then I
else,
probably have
there is
to
no end to the blame.
functional, but I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think
Therefore the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. 80. If a country is governed wisely, its inhabitants will be content. They enjoy the labor of their hands and don't waste time inventing labor-saving machines. Since they dearly love their homes, they aren't interested in travel. There may be a few wagons and boats, but these don't go anywhere. There may be an arsenal of weapons, but nobody ever uses them. People enjoy their food, take pleasure in being with their families, spend weekends working in their gardens, delight in the doings of the neighborhood. And even though the next country is so close that people can hear its roosters crowing and its dogs barking, they are content to die of old age without ever having gone to see it. 81. True words aren't eloquent. Eloquent words aren't true. Wise men don't need to prove their point. Men who need to prove their point aren't wise. The master has no possessions. The more he does for others, The happier he is, the more he gives to others, the wealthier he is. The Tao nourishes by not forcing, by not dominating, the master leads.